Welcome everyone to, well, actually this isn't the game. This is going to be my 100th video special. That's right. We have posted 99 different videos to the channel already, and this will be the 100th. So, woohoo! It's been a bit of a weird one. Been a kind of a crazy journey so far. It's been about 8 months since I started. I think my first video was January 22nd of this year. So yeah, it's been a fun ride. Here's to 100 more, and 100 after that, and hopefully 100 subscribers. Am I right? So, I have taken the liberty, and this was a couple weeks in the making. I asked a couple fans, a couple subscribers, and a few friends, very close friends of mine, to send me a list of questions. Now, I'm going to be answering as many as I can. Obviously, some of them I won't be able to answer in full just because I don't want to make this... If I answered every question, if I did everything the way... if I read everything and tried to over-explain, you should all know by now I'm very long-winded, and this would be a 7-hour recording. So, I'm going to try and aim for a half hour. In fact, what I will do, I will pull up my phone right here, and I am going to set my stopwatch so that I can keep track of how long I'm rambling. Now, there is no particular order to these questions. I'm not phrasing them as like the most important or the one I liked the most. I'm literally just the order in which I collected these. That's how I'm reading them. So, our first question is, face reveal when? What are you talking about, man? What do you mean? In fact, you should see in this video that my face is on camera right now. Look at me. I should be in the... How do I edit these videos? Should be in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. It's usually where I put it. Obviously, there are a couple videos where I haven't done that just because, there's something in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. But that is... Hey, look, it's my face cam. Don't worry about it. So face reveal technically came around like... I don't even remember, like sometime in March when I first started doing this. When I first started including the cam, at least. Before that, it was all just entirely faceless. But that's me. If you're wondering what I look like, boom, right there. What you see is what you get. I am beautiful, a beautiful man. Measurements. Well, this is an awkward question. So I am currently 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", something like that. I wear a size 11 wide, 11 and a half wide shoe. I mean, I should, technically. I don't wear shoes most of the time. But when I go out and I'm going partying in, like it's 1999, then I usually wear like 11 and a half wide shoes. I don't really know the rest of my measurements for most of my clothes because I wear a lot of like athletic clothing and stuff, and that's usually not like super measurement heavy. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not really big. I'm kind of average. I'm a very average person. So yeah, those are my measurements. Oh, and in terms of my measurements, in terms of personality, I'm a solid 400 out of 10. Just the most charismatic person to ever live. What made you decide to keep pursuing YouTube videos enough to make 100 of them consistently? Consistently. I love that. Anyone who's watched me for a long time kind of knows that I am not consistent at all. There was at least like 3 different 2-month hiatuses I took inside of this year alone. I do plan on not doing that again. I have made a commitment to prioritize this channel a lot more. I am actively working on things in the background, trying to improve the quality of my videos, sort of improve what I look like, what I'm doing. The quality of the face cam, obviously. A lot of things that happen in the background. So, in fact, something that might even come up later in this video that I might talk about. So rest assured, your boy is hard at work, doing things to make himself oh, so much better than every other Ursine YouTuber out there. I don't know how many of you are that are out there, but I'm sure you're all nice. I'm just better than you. I'm kidding, of course. I'm kidding, guys. Relax. I don't believe my own hype that much. When is Jake Paul going to appear? Man, I'd like to know the answer to that myself. Mr. Paul, in fact, both Paul twins, if you could chuck maybe a couple million subscribers and or viewers and or any amount of money at me, I would greatly appreciate that. Your boy is poor. Like, these videos are not relatively expensive, but collecting the money to have someone design my face cam, which was totally not in quotes, it is fairly expensive, and it does take a lot of time to do. And a lot of things that I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to make this channel as customizable and as fun as possible. And so to do that, sometimes there is a back-end cost, which does impact some of the decision making around here. So there are some projects that I'm working on currently that do require money, which is why they're being pushed back as long as they have been. But rest assured, they will be out soon, inside of the next year. I have a couple of really fun things coming up that I think you guys will enjoy. So I guess the answer to that is Mr. Paul. In fact, both Pauls. If you want to do a collab, I'm freaking down. Do it. I mean, what else am I doing, right? What made you decide to start being a YouTuber to begin with? Well, this is gonna be a weird story. Back when I was but a cub in the fields of Afghanistan, I don't know what I'm talking about. The long and the short of it is, when I was younger, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I started in musical theater. I continued doing musical theater for most of my life, from childhood through young adulthood. An awkward section in the middle that is middle school that's just absolutely terrible. And then even in adulthood now, I don't do musicals per se, but I still enjoy listening to musicals. I still sing a lot. In fact, my vocal warm-up for every video, including this one, includes me singing a bunch of songs from like YouTubers like Random Encounters or Key of Awesome. Sometimes I even sing some anime openings. Come on, we all know it's pretty badass. I get my jam on, but that's how I warm up. I love doing that, and I always loved making people laugh. Anyone who knows me personally usually finds that when I'm not being super introverted and hiding in my room, I am very charismatic, and I often tend to be the jokester of the group. So this kind of allows me to do that to a wider audience, hopefully in the future, because I only have 29 subscribers. But in theory, I reach a larger audience. And it's just fun to dick around and play some video games and hopefully get a couple laughs in there every now and then. So yeah, that's. I wouldn't say that there was a single deciding moment that made me say, yes, I shall be a YouTuber. I shall be the greatest YouTuber ever. I shall be furry Markiplier. Like, no, that never happened. But I would say that if we're going to go with a deciding moment, I'd probably say my 2 years ago, I think. Back in my freshman year of freshman year of college, rather. I was chatting with some new college buddies, and I have spent a lot of time, a very unhealthy amount of time on YouTube, just watching videos and learning about the various communities that are on here. And I was chatting with a friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, you know so much about this. Why don't you just make your own channel?" And I thought about it. I was like, "Huh, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, actually. Just messing around, playing video games, doing some comedy, maybe a couple light skits here and there. That sounds awesome." So since then, I have been. It's been almost a 2-year journey now of just me trying my damnedest to get the resources and find the time and make the videos to just have a good time. And so far, we've been active on the channel for about 8 months now. I created the channel 2 years ago, but we've been active and uploading for 8 months, and this has honestly been probably the single greatest experience of my life. This has been just freaking amazing. I want to thank you all so much for watching. This has been awesome. Who inspired you to become the great King Grizzly you are today? Well, I'd say there's a lot of sources for my inspiration. Gandhi, Jesus, Quetzalcoatl. I'm joking. I would say for my inspiration, there are a lot of sources. So, for starters, my stepbrother. He is possibly the single greatest person I've ever met in my life. He's just freaking awesome. Since the day I was adopted, he has always been in my corner. He's always been the one pushing for me to be more than I am already. And sometimes that works, and sometimes I fail. But he has always sort of been the person who has been my anchor through thick and thin. Yes, my sister also fills that role as well. But he is older than me, and so I often look up to him. And he was my hero pretty much growing up, even now, technically. So I would say that he is probably the person who inspired me the most. But that does not mean there aren't other sources. There are a whole slew of people like Gassy Mexican, Cnanners, Markiplier, the entirety of the Derp crew, like part of Chilled Chaos's cohort. A lot of people, hell, even people like Smitty and Fitz, and even a little bit of Swagger Souls, have inspired me to sort of be better at editing, to be a more charismatic content creator, to just do better in general. That's a laundry list of people, but I mean, I have over my years growing up, really been inspired by a great many people, and I just I don't think I'd be the same person without all those sources of inspiration. So I wouldn't call myself a great King Grizzly just yet, but I do aspire to be one day. Are you going to stream Smite? And when will you play Mabinogi again? Alright, first of all, before I get to the streaming part, because that is important, fuck Mabinogi with the rusty spoon. Real talk. Story time for a sec. Story time with King Ted. I played Mabinogi. So the person who's asking this is a close friend of mine. He talked me into playing a game called Mabinogi, and if you don't know what it is, my God, I love you. You are a sweet, innocent soul who has not been violated by this horrible, horrible game. It is, basically to explain it, a crappy version of Gaia, like Gaia Online, but with more, like, dumb anime girls and, like, terrible game mechanics. So basically, long story short, what happened to me was I got insta-banned for creating an account. It nearly caused me to blue screen twice. I got in-game. The starting quest glitched out for a solid hour. And then after that, I then chose to do a specific class of character, being a puppeteer, and none of my hotkeys worked. So basically, I couldn't do anything in the game. So that was 3 hours of misery. Just that destroyed my soul. So the answer to that second part of when I will play Mabinogi again, either when I hit 1 billion subscribers, or when the inevitable heat death of the universe destroys everything in this plane of reality. One of those two things. But for the second thing, for the first part of that question, rather, I will be streaming soon. In fact, I'll be streaming Saturday, August 18th. So like in 2 days. Long story short, and this will of course be around 3:30, 3:45, and then continuing until the evening. I haven't set an exact hour for how long I'm going to be playing, but it will be fairly lengthy. The reason being is that I am I'm a big fan of Telltale games. but I've never actually played Telltale's The Walking Dead. I have seen snippets of the gameplay throughout the years, and everything I've seen and everything I've read and everything I've heard is amazing. And I have, for the longest time, had Telltale's The Walking Dead every season sitting in my Steam library, and I've never played it. And I was going to do a video on it until I realized that series would be massive and long, and I just don't have the time for it. So I, instead, am going to stream from Season 1 all the way up to Season 4, which is the final season, which Chapter 1 came out 2 days ago. So from pretty much every Saturday, barring anything I can't, change midway through, pretty much every Saturday starting from the 18th in 2 days up through about the 1st of January, which is definitely not, January 1st is not on a Saturday, but like the first Saturday of January, I shall be streaming The Walking Dead. And I will essentially make it so that we will do maybe 1 to 2 chapters, 1 to 2 episodes of each season every stream, just because it looks so good and I really want to try it. So I want to have this be my sort of first foray into streaming on Twitch. Now, that does not mean that I won't be streaming other things. I have considered streaming Smite. I am bad at Smite. That's not true. I am painfully average at Smite. I am generally okay. I'm usually, if I'm not the best person in the game that I'm playing, I am the second or third best, which I'll take. Given the ELO bracket I am in, I am relatively skilled. So if that is something that people are interested in seeing, then absolutely. I play Smite in my downtime when I'm not recording and when I'm not editing, so I'd be more than happy to do that with an audience. But also, another game that I really want to try out, because I love it, looks a lot of fun, is VR chat. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a very dumb idea. It's like, oh no, he's another VR chat streamer. He's gonna talk about not safe for work. He's gonna be, hunting for lollies and traps. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Because that is hilarious to me. It is just an interesting ecosystem that they have set up, and I really want to hop into it. Now, of course, I don't have any VR stuff yet. I'll be operating mostly from desktop. But, that is subject to change. I do have plans, and it is on the agenda to farm up the resources to get at least the most rudimentary setup for VR, with the HTC Vive. So that will improve over time. And if you guys like it so much, you can always, donate to me and give me some support so that I can do it even faster. But, that is to be disclosed. I definitely do want to incorporate streaming into my schedule, but I do need to see exactly where it would fall in, because I'm not sure just yet. But that will be for the near future. Can you elaborate on the affair between you and Lola Bunny? All right, man. I'm not a bear to kiss and tell. I'm just saying, I am very attractive. I am very attractive, and chicks really dig me. Next question. Teddy, bear ass or bear ass? I get this question a lot. Por que no los dos? I would say both. I think you can make puns about both, and both would be pretty fine. I know I have at least one of those, and I've been doing a lot of squats. A lot of squats. Oh my god, what is this video? Will you do a Draw My Life? Well, I would, but I can't draw for shit. Alright, real talk. So, I've mentioned it before, but I have an official channel artist who I work very closely with. She's a very trusted friend of mine, and her link is in the description below if you want to check her out. Tell her Ted sent you. I'm sure she'd appreciate the extra love and support. Also, commission her. She does truly fantastic work. Anything that I showcase on my channel, that is part of my face cam or anything that's future channel banners or emotes, really anything that shows up is going to be from her, just because she is incredibly talented and just an absolute sweetheart. But yeah, I will probably not be doing a Draw My Life anytime soon, just because I am atrocious at drawing. Absolutely bad. Just the worst. So I might do it once I get a little bit better at drawing and I have the setup to be able to... I might just do it in MS Paint one day. So that I'll get bored and get a little bit drunk and then just Draw My Life through MS Paint, record that for a little bit, giggle like a moron, and then set it to some inspiring music. But I had not made any plans to do a Draw My Life in the immediate future, but I might do it for a subscriber special or some sort of milestone. When did you start playing video games, and what are your favorite video games / genres to play? Now this is interesting. I have multiple answers for this. So, I was born with a controller in my paws. I absolutely love video games. They were a big part of my life growing up, and a big part of my life now. I think one of the first video games I played was Crash Bandicoot, I think? Maybe? It was that and Pokemon. I know that. I played Pokemon Red as a kid. I can't think. Well, I mean, and honestly, a big part of my life, I am really big into anime, which again is part of another question later. So a lot of games I played were Dragon Ball Z fighting games. Budokai Tenkaichi was my life for a solid 3.5 years. That was all I played. I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna play this. This is freaking awesome. So yes, it's been a big part of my life since I was very little. In terms of favorite games and genres, I'm gonna answer the genre one first because that one's easier for me. In terms of games, in terms of genres I like to play, I absolutely love horror games. They are, bar none, one of my favorite franchises to play. My favorite genres to play is because I love getting scared. I love the suspense. I watch horror movies. I read horror comics. I read horror graphic novels. I read horror books. And anything horror, I'm your man. I love it. It's freaking awesome. Jason Voorhees is my spirit animal. In terms of favorite games, that one is hard because I am a fan of a lot of games. I would say that one of my favorite franchises is the Uncharted franchise. Both the Uncharted franchise and also The Last of Us, both, funnily enough, developed by Naughty Dog, just because they are a incredibly talented game development studio and publisher, and they just make really awesome stuff. So I love a lot of things made by Naughty Dog. In terms of other games I like to play, I would say, let me check my Steam list. Oh, wait, hold on, I know. Mass Effect. I'm a big fan of Mass Effect. Well, Mass Effect and Dragon Age. BioWare has made a career off of making a lot of really awesome interactive RPG games. And yes, I do count Andromeda for anyone who's going to comment that or, be all, grouchy about it. I was one of the few plebs who did like Mass Effect Andromeda. I love anything from the Mass Effect universe. It's always a lot of fun to sort of jump around as a space cowboy and just do fun stuff. Although, to be fair, I am a big fan of RPG games in general, because another collection of franchises that I like are both Fallout and The Elder Scrolls. Now, I know, to be fair, Fallout is made in part by a number of companies: Interplay, Black Isle, Obsidian, Bethesda. Bethesda is the most recent person to hold the Fallout franchise, but I love the franchise. Not so much Fallout 4 recently, or 76. I'm not buying into the hype, but I am a big fan. My absolute favorite Fallout game is Fallout New Vegas. I hated it when I first played it. I remember it was in like 2011, I think. My stepbrother, rather. I remember in 2011, my stepbrother brought in Fallout New Vegas. I had never seen the series before. I'd never touched anything from it. And he was like, oh, let's play it. And we played it, and it was crap. We hated it immediately. It was I was very young. I didn't understand the mechanics. I didn't understand the world space. They put you right next to a Deathclaw oscillary, so it was just it was not I was not a happy camper at first. But the more I played it, and the more I understood it and the mechanics, and the older I got, the more I appreciated it, to the point that it's one of my favorite, at least post-apocalyptic franchises that I've played in recent years. And the same goes for the Elder Scrolls. I absolutely love the Elder Scrolls. I started with the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Oblivion is now my absolute favorite Elder Scrolls. Well, it's my favorite main series Elder Scrolls game. I am a big fan of ESO. And I play it quite frequently. In fact, it is more than it's contributed more than a little bit to me procrastinating a lot, because I'm usually on ESO a lot. But it's all in good fun. I'm not wasting my time, or not doing videos because of it. That would be unprofessional of me. What are your hobbies? This is an awkward question. So I don't get out very much. That's not I'm a loser thing. That's just more of I've made a choice thing. I love to read, especially mystery novels. I love watching and critiquing movies. I am currently studying to be a video editor and film critic. It's not exactly the official title, but it's what I do. I love watching movies, and I love analyzing them and breaking them down, saying what worked here, what didn't work here, what was fun, what I didn't like. I live for that. I am a critic through and through. It doesn't come through in my videos very often, but when I put my mind to it, I can be very hyper analytical, especially when I really enjoy a franchise. I could show you, I have essays that are like 10, 20 pages long about entire franchises of either movies or games that I'm like, this didn't work, you need to fix this. And I'm like, I'm never going to send it out to anyone. It's just things I do in my off hours because I'm a nerd. So there's that. I love playing video games. Obviously, that's a big part of my life. YouTube and editing in general is something that has rapidly, it's a new thing in my life, but it has rapidly taken over my life. And for the better. It's not a bad thing. Like, oh no, YouTube ruined my life. No, I love this. This is absolutely just the greatest thing I can ever do. So I often find myself getting up in the early hours of the morning. And keep in mind, I'm not a morning person. I have gotten up at 5 a.m. to edit a video. It's because I want to do it the night before, but I got tired and I go to bed, and I wake up, I'd be so ecstatic and going, I just can't wait. I want to do this. So that has largely become my newest hobby, of just me sort of messing around, tinkering, trying new things. And you'll notice as the channel goes on that my editing style changes ever so slightly as we go along. That's to be expected. I having gone back and watched a couple of my older videos, I already see a nuanced change in how I present my content, and hopefully that will continue to happen. So here's to editing. I think that's all my hobbies actually. I don't really do much else now that I think about it. Oh wait, hold on. That's not really true. Occasionally I like to sing a lot. Like, not in public, I just sing to myself because I'm weird. I sing when I do chores, I sing when I'm gaming, I sing when I'm nervous, I sing when I'm in the shower. It's just something I do. Singing is my life. Do you watch anime? And if so, what are your favorites? Do I watch anime? Let me tell you this. I have been a big fan of anime since I was like 3. Like, real talk, I think one of my first animes I ever watched, was, well, technically the first one was Dragon Ball Z. But there's also Gundam, Kyono ga Shibel, a couple others I'm forgetting. Oh, Samurai X. There are a lot of things that I watched in my youth, and then, because, I mean, honestly, I grew up in the Toonami era, so that's where I got my start. And then from there, I started branching out. I watched a lot of slice of life in middle school, and I regret that immensely. It's just so bad. I eventually got to the point where I said, all right, I'm going to watch Azumanga Daioh, which is the first official slice of life anime to ever popularize the genre. And after that, I was like, okay, I have now seen the thing that started this genre. I don't want to watch these anymore. They're terrible. They're cookie cutter. They're all generic and the same. So I have since crossed off that genre. Now, in terms of my favorite types of anime, my favorite anime just in general, that switches a lot. Dragon Ball as a franchise was always on my list until Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super to me is terrible. It's poorly animated, poorly voice acted, poorly written, and just rushed in general. It's one of those things that like it was very popular, but it didn't deserve the popularity, in my opinion. I have yet to see the new Heroes anime that came out from the Dragon Ball franchise. I am excited for it. I think it's going to get the same treatment, but I shall see. In terms of other animes that I like, I'm a big fan recently of Tokyo Ghoul. I started watching it, I think in 2016. I kind of fell off a little bit with Tokyo Ghoul A because it wasn't necessarily great. It was very derivative. And then Tokyo Ghoul Re came out this year with the 4th season coming out in February, and I fell back in love with the franchise. So I'm back on board with that. Other notable animes that I like to watch, I was a big fan of Bleach. I love One Piece. Naruto's fun occasionally. And there are a bunch of other smaller series that I watch just sort of in between that I absolutely love. I think my all-time favorite anime is an anime called Akame ga Kill. It's I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to say anything. Just look it up. You will not regret watching it. It is a very, very fun show. But before I go full weeb mode, let's move on. Do you have a girlfriend or boyfriend? Well, I think from the Lola Bunny comment earlier. No, I'm kidding. I am a very solitary person. That's not to say that I sit in my basement all the time. I tend to make a lot of strong relationships, but I don't really do the whole dating thing. Not really my speed, not really what I'm interested in. So I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I tend to just hang out with people and be friends, regardless of what your gender is. I'm a very kind person. I'm a very talkative one as well at times. So no, I have not dated anyone recently. I've kind of taken a break from dating in the last couple of years. Did a couple of weird experiences. Like they were fairly standard experiences, but they were like in terms of like first dating in high school and college. But they were just they were enough that I sort of said like, nah, I think I'm good for a little bit. So maybe in the future, I might reconsider that. I might change my mind on whether or not I want to start dating. But for now, I'm a lone wolf, just heading the pack. I'm so cool. I'm so edgy. What was your first pet's name? I had a soft-coated Wheaton Terrier named Baxter. He was a rambunctious little bastard. I love him to death, but my gosh, he would get up to all kinds of hijinks. I had a lot of fond memories of him when I was younger. Although I think if I was to get a pet now, I'm far more of a cat person than I am a dog person. So I have looked into adopting an American Shorthair, and they just look absolutely adorable. But it's not in the cards for me right now. Eventually, one day, I do hope to own at least one cat that I can share experiences with and have him be the official cat of my channel. But that's not in the cards right now. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Oh, this is a hard one. I have 4 answers to this. Number 1, no, actually it's 5 answers. Number 1, birthday cake, delicious. You should try it. Number 2, confetti. It's god tier. I love it. Number 3, Oreo, fucking amazing. Number 4, I definitely say tiramisu. Greatest thing you'll ever have in your mouth. And number 5, and probably my absolute favorite, garlic. Like, I know that sounds dumb, but no, try it. Caramelized garlic is the sweetest thing you'll ever have in your mouth. There is a place. Anyone who lives on the West Coast, actually, who lives in San Francisco, go to I think it's the Financial District, and there's a restaurant called the Stinking Rose. It is easily the greatest restaurant I've ever been to. Everything they make has garlic included in the recipe. So you can have garlic encrusted baby back ribs, garlic encrusted steak, garlic mashed potatoes. The only thing they won't put garlic in is your beverage. Unless I guess you ask for it. I've never tried. But you will eat about half a pound of garlic at the minimum. I think I ate about 5 when I went there, including the ice cream, and the ice cream was amazing. It is the sweet. Picture caramel and chocolate had a baby, and that baby was put in ice cream. That sounds horrible, but it's amazing. And so I will warn you, if you go there, it will make you sick to your stomach. The human body, or the earth sign body for that matter, is not meant to imbibe pounds of garlic in the double digits. So if you do, you will have a stomachache for the next week and a half, but it is worth it. This kind of ties in from a question from earlier, but so favorite color, food, and movie. My favorite color currently, and this has not always been the case, I would say my favorite color is red. It ties into, so I have a hoodie that is very special to me. It was given to me by my grandfather, and it's red, and I have since stitched my channel's logo into the chest. But it's always been a big part of me, and it's always been important to me, and so that is largely what I use for, what you can see me wearing in some of my videos, and it's also become my favorite color over time. I have also had purple for a long while was my favorite color, and periwinkle, and even for a little bit burgundy. But red is usually the color I always return to in terms of my favorite color. My favorite food, I would say. This is hard. I have a couple answers. In fact, I'll just give you all the answers. So, number 1, frog's legs. Amazing. I love it. 2, duck salad. Probably the greatest thing you'll ever have in your mouth that's duck related. 3, I would probably say. I want to say macaroni and cheese, but that's not true. Because I love macaroni and cheese, but it's not the greatest thing I've had. I would say white bean and duck stew is a really great combination. And then, pulled rabbit and potato latkes is really high up there for me. That's really good. I know they're all kind of strange choices, but I love it to death. It's amazing. And for favorite movie, that one's hard because I would currently say that my favorite movie is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm trying to think of that's probably because that's a really fun spy thriller. I think that is currently my favorite movie. Mostly because I'm not a fan of most movies that are made by Hollywood nowadays. They all seem a bit derivative. But I think overall that's a very smart spy thriller. And I had the most fun watching it. And I've seen it about 2-3 times now. That will probably change in the coming years. There are a lot of movies that I like. I like aspects of them, but overall I'm kind of not super blown away. But I'm sure there'll be a movie that comes along and I'm like, whoa, that was amazing. So we're going to do one more, I think, before we call it a wrap. So let's see if there's one that's really, really good that I can use that will, get a chunky answer. Okay, so here's one. How far do you plan on going with YouTube? And if you plan on continuing, what is your end game? So this one's a bit hard, because I'm so young. I turned 20 this year, so I mean it's not like I'm an old man who's going to retire anytime soon. I plan on. I plan on doing YouTube for as long as possible. I love doing this. It is my absolute favorite thing to do, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Now, obviously, I do want to get into streaming part time, but really anything that allows me to be an entertainer and to build an audience and just have fun and be a goofball. That's all I really care about. So I'm gonna do this until the end of time, hopefully, or until I find a way to entertain you guys better, or until I find a way to transcend time and space and become YouTube itself. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too far into the future. My thing is I take things week by week. I don't want to plan too far ahead because, obviously plans always change and life happens. So my thing is I want to say, all right, this week, how do I make sure you guys have content? How do I make sure that you guys have the most fun this week? And then next week rolls around and I go, okay, how do I do that again? And again, and again. I just keep going until, we hit 8 months and we have 100 videos. That's pretty much how I've gotten here so far. So yeah, I don't plan on getting, too big. I don't want to become the king of YouTube because, there are plenty of people who already have that pretty much locked down. People who have like 40 bajillion subscribers. I don't want that. I think the largest I ever want to get is 1 million. At the largest, just because I enjoy being small. I enjoy being able to interact with each and every one of you on a one-to-one basis, and I'm able to. Granted, I don't have a whole lot of comments on my videos, but I would like to be able to scroll through and see a manageable amount of comments that I can reply to. Because I do want to treat each and every subscriber I have like you're my only one. And I feel like that would be hard to do if there's 40 million, a million of you. I feel like I wouldn't give you the proper time and attention that you deserve. So I want to create a small and close-knit community. So that is really my aspiration. So if I can make that work, if I can make you guys smile every video, if I can have you sort of hop on YouTube and go, holy crap, hot diggity dog, the king just uploaded something, let's freaking watch that, it's time for the funnies, slide over other things, I've got comedy to attend to, it's pun o'clock, then I've done my job and I'll be happy. but I haven't really thought about it much further than that. Well, that does it for the 100 video special. Wow, this is actually, oh crap, it's an hour long. This is what I was worried about because I always ramble. But hey, it's good content, hopefully this gave you an insight about who I am, about what I do, about the man behind the mask, pretty much, so to speak, or I guess the bear behind the fur, whatever the pun is for that metaphor. I just wanted to give you guys a little more insight about who I am, because obviously you see me play random nonsense on the internet every now and then, but I very rarely talk about myself. So if you want to see more videos in this kind of style, feel free to either let me know in the comments or to leave a like. Just any kind of support would be greatly appreciated. Hell, tweet at me or message me on Facebook and say, hey, I want to see more, more Q&A vids, or I want to ask you more questions. If you want to just pose a question to me, I will probably respond to you in the next 2 days, because I am very inactive on social media a lot of the time. It is a bit weird to manage. I'm usually editing, so I am getting better about paying more attention to Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, so feel free to ask me more questions. If your question was not featured in this video, I'm terribly sorry. There were enough questions from multiple sources that it was hard to sort of boil down all of them. Because again, like I said, this would be a 7-hour video if I answered everything. Especially at the rate that I ramble, we'd be here forever. But be sure to, if you like the video, if you want to see more things, if you have something specifically that you want me to play or that you want to see me do, if you think there's a new trend that's pretty funny and you want to see me do it, just let me know. I'm fairly flexible. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and roll the outro. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like or a comment down in the comment section below. And why not subscribe and join the Cub Collective today? And if you have a friend or family member that you think might enjoy my content, feel free to recommend me to them. That being said, I want to thank you all again, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Goodbye for now.